Good evening, Facebook family. This is Joanne with Sit, Chat, and All That, conversations and information for people of maturity. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm glad you could be with us this evening. I am flying solo today. The Diva could not be with us today, so it's just me. But we're going to have a great presentation, and I hope everyone can join in and participate in the conversations and information for people of maturity. Sit, chat, and all that. Sit, chat, and all that. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you've had a healthy start to your new year. I know COVID is running rampant, and so many people have been impacted by COVID, either directly or indirectly, with family members contracting or friends contracting the virus. But we're all going to do what we can to stay safe. If you have not been vaccinated, I urge you to get vaccinated. If you've had your first and second vaccination or immunization and have not had your booster, please do so, because this is extremely important if you're eligible to receive the booster. Please observe all of those guidelines that helps to keep us all safe. Those guidelines, which include wearing a mask when we're out in a crowded area. And they're really recommending that you wear, to discard the cloth mask and start wearing the surgical or the N95 mask, as well as wash your hands and do those things that help to keep you safe. So again, Happy New Year, everyone. This is 2020. We had a year that was quite challenging in 2021, and even more so challenging in 2020. So prayerfully, this year will be a better year. I know that we're starting off again with this COVID variant, but we're going to conquer that, because remember, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Now, tonight, our topic is related to New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions. I know that we all have probably done our New Year's resolutions. And so we're going to talk about that. What things we can do to be successful with those New Year's resolutions. So what I'm going to do is I have a PowerPoint presentation that I'd like to present in the process of this evening. I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to speak from the PowerPoint presentation. Now, for anyone that's out there, please join us in the chat. And again, the Diva is not with me this evening, but I will be sure to check in and out to see who's on the chat and see if there are any questions or any information that anyone would like to share. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up this PowerPoint presentation. Again, I'm still working on becoming a little bit more in tune to as far as technology is concerned. So I just ask you to pray for me and work with me. Here we go, right here. All right, let's see if we can bring up a slide presentation here. And again, the presentation tonight is called Developing Solutions to Achieve Your New Year's Resolutions in 2022. So I'm sure all of us at some point, we do it every year. We come up with New Year's resolutions, and let's define what is a resolution. It is a firm decision to do or not do something, the act of finding an answer or solution to a conflict, a problem, etc. Resolutions are statements of intention. Solutions are often vague, like I will get in shape or I will be more productive. Resolutions are binary, meaning I will do X or I will not do X. Resolutions also tend to aim for extreme changes. I will not overspend. That creates an intimidating gap between the status quo and the desired outcome. Most of us identify the problem, make the solution, but no concrete plan of how we're going to achieve our stated resolution. Unfortunately, none of these approaches to for achievement in our resolutions works well with the human brain or to change or create habits. That is why 80% of New Year's resolutions fail. In fact, before March, most of us have either forgotten about tables or have modified our resolutions, but primarily they have been put on the shelf again for the next up and coming year. We'll make, unfortunately, the same resolutions that we've probably been making for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Okay, solutions to achieve your New Year's resolutions. What are we going to do about it? How are we going to treat this year different from the years for the past years? So what I would like for you to do is start thinking from the perspective of goals as opposed to resolutions. Goals on a scale of 1 to 10 will beat or outperform resolutions every day. Let me just I need to turn the volume up on my phone because I just remember I forgot to do that. Again, start thinking from the perspective of goals as opposed to resolutions. Goals on a scale of 1 to 10 will outperform resolutions every day. So we want to turn those vague goals into achievable, sustainable, again, let me say it again, if those vague resolutions to achievable, sustainable goals with a documented plan of action to achieve your desired goals. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more as we move forward, but you know, we all know the scripture, write it down and make it plain. A resolution would be something that's vague, like I will be healthier in 2022. Now sounds like a great resolution, right? But what does healthier mean? It could mean physical health. It could mean spiritual health. It could mean financial health. It could be emotional health or something else all entirely. But what specific does success look like when you say you are going to achieve a certain goal or resolution in 2022? You have to have a way to create a plan so you can achieve the outcome that you're looking for. So if we're going to change our mindset, change our verbiage, and use the words goals instead of resolutions. We're going to be clear on why the goal is important until we understand, because until we understand the why, it's difficult for us to go that extra mile to get there. So we always need to have a why. Why are we attempting to achieve this goal? And understand or have a full awareness of your roadblocks or your circumstances. What are those daily actions that bring you closer to your goals? And if not, if you don't look at those actions, do not expect for you the change that you want to come, because you have to look at the actions that you need to take in order for those changes to come, and also those roadblocks that might get in the way of those actions that you need to take. You need to pair your goals with a simple but comprehensive plan. A good plan will break your goals into small milestones that add up to your desired outcomes. You know, the old saying, how to eat an elephant one bite at a time. So we have big, lofty goals. It's more difficult to achieve those goals when we take that larger goal and break it up into simple steps of milestones, in order for you to reach your desired outcome. Again, let's consider the goal of being physically healthy in 2022. What will your milestone look like? You need to design a strategy around small, sustainable changes. Again, write it down and make it plain. Written goals help you to see where you're going, what changes you need to make to achieve your goal. Again, to achieve your life goals, you must be willing to make sacrifices, stay committed, and overcome the challenges as you work your plan. Now let's make this a little bit more personal. I'm going to speak on my health goals for 2022. Now, please, again, feel free to join in. If there's any questions or concerns that you might have, or anything you want to share, please feel free to do so. If you haven't already, please share this Facebook presentation on your page and with your family and friends. Okay, let's talk about my goals for 2022. One of my health goals is to increase my daily water intake from 4 16-ounce bottles of water a day to 6 16-ounce glasses of water a day over the next 30 days. So I have a concrete goal. I have a time frame that's connected to the goal, and I have a sustainable goal that I can achieve in a short period of time. Okay, and what is my why? Why is this important to me? Why did this goal become something that I wanted to do or felt that I needed to do in 2022? Number one, I know that adequate hydration is important based on my age, which is 73, and my physical circumstances. I have a kidney with a small decline in kidney function. I have one kidney because back in 2010, I had a kidney removed due to kidney cancer. I have hypertension, and I'm currently taking medications for control of that hypertension. And that medication that I'm taking actually impacts hydration. And I understand that hydration, or the lack thereof, could significantly impact my overall health. Now, I can't change the fact that I'm aging. I can't change the fact that I have a history of hypertension or have one kidney, but I can keep all those things in check by simply drinking more water. Now, I know, because I know me, that I'm not drinking a sufficient amount of water based on my age, my kidneys, and also what I do, because I teach classes 4 to 5 times a week, and during that time I perspire, so of course I'm losing water during that time. And again, I'm 73, and again I have one kidney. So some days I'm doing really well. I'll drink those 16 ounces, 72 ounces of water, 64 ounces of water. But there's some days that I get busy and I forget, and I realize the day has gone by and I've only had 8 ounces of water or 16 ounces of water, and it's 12 or 1 o'clock during the day. So that's not good at all as far as my overall health. Now, in order for me to improve or achieve this goal, I need to evaluate where I am to determine what I need to do to reach my goal. I need to develop a strategy to achieve my goal and document my plan of action. I know that my current water intake is 3 to 4 16 ounces of bottles of water a day, but as I said earlier, I'm inconsistent even with that, so I know that needs to improve. So if you're looking at the 3 to 4 16 ounces of bottle, based on my age, my kidney function, and what I do, I know that I need to improve in that area. Now, what is my strategy? Now, and if you have decided on some goals or for the upcoming year, thank you, Deborah. I see you're on. Lorraine, you're on. Monet, always supporting us. And I want you to think about writing some of your goals, 1 or 2 goals in the chat that you would like to do for the upcoming year. It doesn't have to be a health goal. It could be spiritual, it could be financial. It could be any number of things that you want to achieve in 2022, and 1 action plan that you're going to do to achieve that goal. So getting back to my strategy, I'm going to see my physician to evaluate my current health status as far as kidney function, thyroid function, overall health, to look at those things that I know that lack of sufficient water can impact. Now, I have seen my physician. I just, in fact, saw my physician last week. She did a whole battery of lab studies, which included kidney function. My kidney function has not declined over the year, over the last 6 months. There is room for improvement. There is a slight decline, but again, that can be expected because I have one kidney, and of course, with that, you could have a decline along with the fact that I am an older adult. But there still can be room for improvement if I just do some basic things. Now, what I'm going to do, I've already seen my physician. I've reviewed my lab studies, and they are in normal range based on where I am physically at this point in my life. I'm going to purchase 3 cases of 8-ounce bottles of water. Now, why 8 ounce and not 16 ounce? I have found that I do better when I have the little 8-ounce bottles of water. I'm more apt to finish that as opposed to the 16 ounces of water. You know, I'll drink a portion of it, and next thing you know, I got all these open bottles of water around the house, and I don't have a real true measurement of what I've actually taken in. I'm going to create a water intake schedule with an alarm to remind me beginning next week to drink 8 ounces of water upon rising, then 8 ounces of water after my fitness class, and then 8 ounces of water at least every 2 hours throughout the day. And I don't have this written on here, but the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put those bottles of water in a place where I can actually visually see them. Now, I know it's going to take some additional effort on my part because when I'm at home, it's easy to put the bottles out and see them. But when I go to the fitness center, I'm going to have to pack my bottles of water in a little lunch kit. I do not do well with the water bottles or the you know, the ones that your own bottle you can sip from. I know that doesn't work for me. So I have to do the things that work for me. So, you know, I'm going to buy the 8 ounces of water at home. I'll have them. I actually will number them, so I'll know how many bottles I've actually taken in for the day. I'm going to put my alarm clock on, set my phone so that at every 2 hours after my first 16 hours starting point, I'm going to, the alarm will go off so that I know it's time to drink water again, because otherwise I'll get busy. I know me, I'll get busy and I have good intentions, but I'll forget to drink, so that alarm will remind me. I'm going to find an accountability partner. That's real important, have an accountability partner, someone who will assist you in achieving your goals. Can you do it by yourself? Of course you can. Or are you more likely to do it if you have someone that you're accountable to? Absolutely. So I'm going to find an accountability partner. So I'm going to be looking out there for one of you ladies that's on the chat this evening to be my accountability partner for this next 30 days. And then I'm going to evaluate my progress at the end of each week and tweak it as needed. Now, remember, this is one of my goals, and I'm not going to look at a large number of goals. I'm going to keep it simple, do 1 or 2 goals related to my health, and I intend to do 1 or 2 goals related to my spiritual growth. And now I didn't include those on here tonight, but those are the 2 things I'm looking at. I want to improve my health through improving my water intake, improving my hydration, which will improve my kidney function, will help to control my weight, which helps to control, because all of us know water has such a great impact on your overall health. Water can impact your liver, it impact your kidneys, impact your skin, impact so many things. So that little simple change in behavior can make a huge difference in my overall physical health. But one of the things that I'm most concerned about is making sure this one kidney I have is able to function at its optimal level. So that is one of the goals that I have as far as my health goals. The next health goal I have, the number 2, is to improve my sleep habits from 4 hours of sleep to 7 hours of sleep in a 30-day period. Now, this is another one that I know that I've struggled with for some time, and I know it has a huge impact over my overall health. And one of the things I've noticed that I've had a noticeable decline in my energy over the past several months, which may be impacted by lack of sleep and my rest patterns. Now, I also know that some other things that can impact my energy level could be my thyroid function, And so what did I do? I went to the doctor last week and asked her to draw some thyroid studies. My thyroid is operating within a normal range, but it's on the low side of normal. So my physician and I will have a discussion on that when I do my follow-up visit. But this is something that I can do right away as far as not getting enough sleep, which will impact my energy. And I also know insufficient sleep can impact your mood. You know, it can make you feel listless. It can make you feel down. It impacts your mental sharpness. So in order for me to be my best physically and mentally, in order to help my clients, I have to be physically at my physical best in order to help them to be at their physical best or their best. So me getting enough rest is extremely important. Now, what is my strategy? What is my action plan? So I just mentioned I check with my physician to evaluate specific areas that may be impacting my energy, my thyroid function, my kidney function. But also I need to assess my current habits that impact my rest and sleep. One of which is staying up late to watch CNN. I love Don Lemon, and his show is from 9 to 11. So that means if I'm going to go to bed by 10, which is the next step in my strategy, then I have to either record Don Lemon and watch him the next day, or I can only watch 1 hour of Don Lemon because he's on from 10 to 11. So I can be in bed already at 9, watch the show from 9 to 10, and lights off at 10. The other thing I need to return to doing, which I was doing pretty well at one time, but I've gotten back into old habits again, is to set my TV so that it will turn off by 10:30 as opposed to 11:30 p.m. The next thing I can do is set up my training area. Now, I teach a fitness class, a live fitness class Monday through Thursday at 6 a.m. So what can I do so that I can be ready for the next day and be comfortable and restful as far as my sleep is concerned? Because if I have things that are undone or things that I'm a little concerned about, I don't rest well. So something as simple as laying out my workout clothes for the next day and going into the training area that I have set up in my home to conduct my classes, to make sure my light is already set up, my music is already ready, and I have the things that I need in order for me to start class in a timely manner. So I need to do that before I go to bed. So that means I need to start preparing for all of this, not at 10 o'clock, not at 9 o'clock, but really at 8 o'clock, I need to be doing those preparations so that I can meet my goal of getting more sleep. And then I also need to identify stressors that could impede my rest. You know, I'm a person that tends to overcommit as far as my schedule is concerned. So I need to identify some of those things that create stresses in my life and work on those things. Now again, ladies, just if you would just put one goal in the chat that you intend to do. Think about it, and one action plan related to that goal that you're going to do. Now I'm going to, at the end of the week, I'll measure my progress and tweak it as needed. Now, it takes at least 21 days, according to the literature and the science, to change habits. So this is a 30-day process for me. Now, once I complete the 30 days, prayerfully, I will have developed good habits, and I will continue with those habits. And some of the other goals that I may have in mind, then I can feel comfortable with adding those goals so that I'm not trying to put so many goals for me to meet in one time frame. So I have two major goals that I want to achieve. That's improve my health through drinking, increasing my water intake, and I'm going to do that with specific steps. And I won't go through all of those over again, but I have a specific strategy in order for me to meet that goal. My other health goal is for me to change or improve my sleep habits. You know, I probably don't get to bed till 11:30 or 12. I'm up at 5:15 at the latest, and my day is full from that point on. Very seldom I get a chance to just kind of stop and maybe take a 30-minute power nap, and that's something I need to also look at as far as my rest and getting sufficient sleep. I need to look at adding, maybe shutting my schedule down where I can get maybe a 30-minute power nap in during the course of a day, because I have to remember, you know, as I have told my mother years ago when I was only about 52, I share with her, I said, Mom, the package may look good, but at the end of the day, there are 52 years of mileage on this package. So here we fast forward it to where I am today. I am 73. The package may look good, but at the end of the day, there's 73 years, praise the Lord, of mileage on this package. So I need to take care of this gift that the Lord has given me and strategize and take better care of myself as I encourage others to do the same. Okay, so looking at in summary, change those vague resolutions into specific, attainable, and measurable goals. Again, let me repeat that. Change those vague resolutions into specific, attainable, and measurable goals. You want to, as I said earlier, you want to write it down and make it plain. So you want to get your tablet, or if you're one of those people who work better from the computer, whatever works for you, but write it down. Now, I have written down my health resolutions, my health goals for the next 30 days, but I'm going to tweak them just after, speaking with you all, to you all tonight, because I know there's some additional things that I need to add. And I'm going to look at those goals on a weekly basis to make sure I'm on track. And if I'm not, to look at what I need to do to tweak those goals, tweak those strategies or my action plan in order for me to achieve my goals of improving my health by drinking water and getting more rest and sleep over the next 30 days. The other thing is I'm going to do, and I encourage you all to do, is pray over it and pray about it. Pray over it and pray about it. As you develop your plan and you develop your strategy to achieve your plan, you want to give the plan to our Lord and ask the Holy Spirit to help you in achieving those goals. So I mentioned earlier having accountability partner. What better accountability partner than the Lord God himself? Because, again, as I've always said, our bodies are a gift. And so we want to do our absolute best to take care of them. But again, your goal may not be about improving your health. Your goal may be about your spiritual growth. It may be about your finances. It may be about a number of things. But again, we want to make sure they're specific goals, attainable goals, measurable goals. You want to write them down and make it plain. You want to pray over it and pray about it. And you want to give yourself room for error, but not room to quit. Let me repeat that. Give yourself room for error, hiccups, but not room to quit. Stay committed to the process. Again, with most New Year's resolution, 80% of all New Year's resolution have been pretty much put on the shelf, flushed down the toilet, forgotten about, overlooked by March of, if not before, March of that same year. Most of the time by mid-February, your resolutions are already in trouble. So again, you want to give yourself room for error or room for hiccups, but not room to quit. You want to stay committed to the process. And the last thing, but not least, is that you want to, I see the diva will be my accountability partner, y'all. And listen, y'all, she can, is just as much as she's a diva, she will stay on you about your commitment. So she's a good accountability partner. Okay, and again, most of all, I want you all to remember that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So when the going gets tough, just say those words out loud. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You want to, if your goal is to improve or lose weight, you know what you got to do. You got to go in that pantry. You got to clean out that refrigerator from those temptations. You got to get rid of that stuff out of that, stop buying those things that you know that tempt you. You got to look at your dietary habits overall. You know the things that you need to do in order to improve your weight. If it's about your fitness, you know that you need to have a commitment to work out. Now, your goal is to work out 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. But if you can't do that initially, at least do 15 to 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week. And as time moves forward, you add additional time to your workout, additional days to your workout, until you reach your overall goal of 5 days per week, 30 minutes per day. Again, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, one bite at a time. And again, if you have, if you're looking for a place for guidance and direction, fit just for you, and the trainers are fit just for you, we are here for you. And regardless of where you choose to go, whether it's Fit Just For You, whether it's Planet Fitness, wherever it is, you need to have a good, some guidance on what you need to do as far as your workout plan is concerned. Because if you're not doing your workout properly, then you're impeding your goals for success. So that is really all I have tonight. I'm trying to see if, let me change this here. Let me stop sharing the screen for a second. There we go. So again, now Marissa was saying, someone said, bring you know what? Who was it? It had to be Marissa said, bring the comments on screen. Okay, now, you know, I'm challenged and my ability to do that is limited. So let me just read, let me see what some of the goals are. If we have anyone who actually put a goal in for this evening. Okay, stop looking at your computer and phone 1 hour before you go to bed in order to shut the brain off. That was Deborah Nixon. Excellent, Deborah. That's a good plan of action. Monet, spiritually, if it's my main goal to not skip a day on reading my Bible. Monet, that is a goal for me as well. And I know I need to set up some structure in order for me to achieve that. And let me see if I have anyone else. Oh, Sylvia is along with me. Get more sleep, turn my phone and do not disturb when I get in bed. Increase my veggie intake. That's an excellent one, Sylvia. And using smoothies with veggies. And making sure we don't put a lot of fruits in those smoothies, because sometimes we defeat our purpose by having too much sugar included in our smoothies. So again, I hope you all enjoy the presentation. This is Joanne with Sit Chat and all that, conversations and information. And I've changed it from Women of Maturity to People of Maturity because I want our men folk to join in. because they really do need to invest in their health and listen to these topics on health and wellness. We do this initiative is all about helping each one of you, all of us, as a matter of fact, to improve our overall health. So have an incredible week. Develop those goals, develop your goals and your action plans to achieve those goals. Be blessed, and remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, and live your life like it's golden. God bless and good night.